I'm really honored to have today Reverend Majid Al Shafieh, who is the head of an organization called One Free World International. Majid, it's great to speak with you. It's great to talk to you. Thank you for being here today.
God bless you. Thank you for having me.
So I originally wanted to speak with you when there was when the Syrian forces were going after the Druze people in southern Syria, and I saw that your organization, and I want you to like tell us a little bit about your organization as well and what you do, but you had just released a report about Syria. I think it was right before the assault on the Druze villages in Syria. So I thought the timing was extremely auspicious. So I feel like Syria is going to be something that frequently comes back into the news, especially regarding the work of your organization and persecuted minority groups. So tell us a little bit about what your organization does, and also this report. Why did you do a report on Syria? What was it about?
Well, thank you for having me. Syria is very important. Well, the development that's happening in Syria is extremely important for the people to understand, because Syria will be the major international danger will come from there, and it's coming very soon, will not take long time. So I will not be surprised to see Syria become a second Taliban in Afghanistan, Boko Haram. Let's just make it very clear. Ahmad al-Shara, which is the president of Syria today, is a terrorist. The Americans can lift the sanctions on Syria. The American president can call him attractive. With my all due respect, Ahmad al-Shara, nothing but a criminal terrorist, and there is American blood in his hand and a lot of innocent blood in his hand. So when we're talking about Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, which is the name of his organization, is nothing but motivation of it just different form of ISIS. But he was ISIS, he was Al-Qaeda, and basically even some of his forces today in Syria still wearing the ISIS flag, in their uniform. You're talking about the attacks in Suwaida, the city Suwaida, and we saw this coming 100 miles away. And we tried to warn the world. And I think our organization was the first to warn the State Department. We went to DC, we had a meeting with the State Department, and we was very keen that we have to make a report to explain to the people what's going on exactly, because we have a teams on the ground in Syria, not just to the Druze. The Druze is definitely become a centerpiece of it. And I'm very thankful for Israel to defend the Druze, but Israel, you see, recently start to back down, and I believe that this is because the pressure from the Americans. Now, listen, it's not a matter if you are a big supporter of Donald Trump or you are against Trump, you are pro or anti Donald Trump. Forget about that. Every American president have his own pluses and minuses, and we pray for all of them. But the fact here is that I believe that the trip that he took to Saudi Arabia and Emirates and Qatar, where Saudis invested more than $5 billion in the United States, and the Qataris give him the famous $400 million airplane. And within the meeting with the Saudi Crown Prince, that's when he met Ahmad al-Shara face to face, and that's when he left the sanctions on Syria. Now, I'm not against necessarily lifting the sanctions on Syria, but lifting the sanctions on Syria without conditions, without improving, that is something none of us can accept. And I can assure you that this will be the next danger on Jordan, this will be the next danger in Israel, this will be the next danger on the whole region. So it is very important to understand that what's happened in Suwaida, that basically the forces, the terrorist groups that now they call themselves the Syrian army, they killed Christians, they killed Druze, they killed Alawis, all the minorities in Suwaida. More than 5 churches was burned in Suwaida. More than 500 girls was kidnapped and used as sex slaves. This is only
500 girls?
Christian girls, yes. Now, from the Alawis, the numbers is way higher. The Alawis, the numbers goes to 40,000 people basically. For the Druze, the Druze is like the interesting part with the Druze component, that there is part of the Druze, of course, in Israel. You have the Druze in Israel, you have the Druze in Syria, they have the Druze in Lebanon. But the Druze at least kind of have the backing of Israel to protect them to some degree, but not to full degree. But the world is watching again what ISIS did in Iraq with the Yazidi communities, where they are kidnapped the girls, use them as sex slaves, killed, raped, burned. This is have to stop. There is no way around it. We cannot coexist with evil. We tried before. We tried to coexist with Hitler. We didn't succeed. We tried to coexist with many evil around us. We didn't succeed. We tried to coexist with Iran. We didn't succeed. So the fact and the truth here is, Suwaida, when we give the report to the State Department and we informed them about the situation, we knew that would be a breaking point. And sadly, when everybody ignored the report, and few weeks later, exactly what we warned happened. So it is very important that today the international community know that even Suwaida and the Syrians, not in the news anymore, but I can assure you that the massacre is still going on. I can assure you the massacre against the Druze, I can assure you the massacre against the Christians and the Alawis is still going on. The fact that the media stopped talking about it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And that's the problem also with our left-wing media, that they pick and choose whatever subject matter that they like.
No, that's unbelievable, and that's something that I want to talk about, because I think it was in March when the Alawites were attacked, and it was in the news. There was a wave of reports. We had a little bit in the early summer about the Christians. There were a couple bombings at churches. And then that also faded out of the news. Maybe it was just one or two incidents. And then we had the Druze in July. So these things come and then they go. And I remember, because, being in Jerusalem, also seeing how Israel got involved immediately when it was the Druze. And I don't know if it was just because it was the Druze or because it's on Israel's northern border. And so they want to, protect and make sure, like, the Druze are kind of the buffer between, Giuliani's forces and Israel. But this is going, we don't get accurate news. It's hard for me to find accurate news sources of what's coming, what's happening in Syria. So you're saying it's still going on with the Alawites. It hasn't ended, and also with the Christians. And also,
and the Druze, yes.
and now the Druze, and still the Druze. So, and are there other minority groups that also are concerned right now in Syria?
Well, would be the main three minority groups that's receiving the majority of the damages, of course. Of course, any Shias in general, the Alawis is a branch of the Shia. Of course, any Shia, anybody different than them, will be immediately a target. Women rights will be immediately a target. You have to understand that now the reports coming from our teams on the ground, in total of all the minority girls that have been kidnapped in total from the Alawis, Druze, and Christians, we're looking at more than 7,000.
7,000?
7,000 in total between the Arameans and the Druze and the Christians. We see a lot of kidnapping of little girls as young as 14 and 12. This is the repeat. This is the repeat of ISIS in Iraq. That's exactly the repeat. The difference here is now they become a government. They are not outlaw group that the whole world fighting them. No, they become a government in Syria. And the president is Ahmed al-Shara, that he himself owned 2 sex slaves from the Yazidi community.
What?
Yep.
Right now, or did?
Right now.
Right now. And is this known by by governments, by foreign governments?
I don't know if they know or they don't, or they choose to be to turn blind eyes. But I know there is eyewitnesses. There is Yazidi girls that we rescued in Iraq. Our organization rescued many of the Yazidi girls in Iraq. So this is not our first rodeo. And many of them will tell you that Ahmad al-Shara, they saw Ahmad al-Shara, they know Ahmad al-Shara. At the time, of course, his name was Gulani. And he used to have three Yazidi girls. Now we have two.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So what is it your team is doing and what can they do and what are they trying to do over there in Syria right now?
So we have two missions in Syria. Number one, humanitarian aid. So
Mhm.
many people doesn't know that they force a blockade on Sueda. So we're trying to send humanitarian aid in a way or another. I would not like to discuss our ways via media, but we have ways basically with the different tribes how we can get the aid, food, water, and just basically try to help the minorities there. The second thing that we're actually trying to rescue these girls. Once again, I will not be able to elaborate more in the media because that's obviously a sensitive matter to our organization. But we're trying to rescue some of these girls, and we succeed so far in rescuing a small number. But we are hoping that our operation will increases and we'll be able to save hundreds. The same thing that we did in Iraq, we rescued more than 600 Yazidi girls from ISIS' hand. We literally bought them. So
Whoa.
after that, we freed them.
Okay.
So we are trying to duplicate the same operation in Syria as well.
Wow. So do they keep the girls and just sell them to like within the country to their own people, like I mean, are they keeping the girls in the country or are they selling them like overseas are they like, what are they doing?
Well, let me just put it this way. Now, the Yazidi girls that
Hmm.
was sold in Iraq, one of them was found in Gaza. Many of them was found in Libya, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. I mean, yes, the operation starts within their own borders, but after that, whoever buy more, give them a fake ID, and after that, force them to leave the country to somewhere. You have to understand that we are looking here about not human trafficking, something much worse than that. We are looking at sex slavery, and this is a catastrophe. And the sad reality that I don't see much people know about it, and I don't see much people acting against it. And I hope that that what Donald Trump called Ahmed Shara an attractive man, I hope one day he will see his true ugly soul.
Can you describe a little bit where this government came from, how it came into power? There's one very interesting. There's an Israeli analyst who actually he doesn't use the name Ahmed al-Shara or Julani. He just calls him murderer in a suit. That's how he refers to him.
Yes, I like always to stick to facts. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like when I say he's a terrorist, this is a fact. You know what I mean? That's not an insult. So when I say that he's ISIS, that's a fact. When I say that his roots is Al Qaeda, this is a fact. So I like always to stick to facts. And when there is an information that coming that we're not sure from it, we say to the best of our ability, this is the information that we have and we can provide. The we don't want to take. I don't like to take too much time in my interviews talking about the enemy. I like more to talk about what God is doing, not what the enemy is doing.
Hmm.
So in the majority of my interview, like you are asking about the roots of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham is made of more than 33 terrorist organizations.
Hmm.
And the roots of it was Al-Qaeda and after that ISIS. And of course we know that ISIS was created out of Al-Qaeda. Uh, and um, and after that, basically, we see a Tahrir Sham that we see right now. There's more than 33 groups, basically, there's groups joining together. Some of them is very aggressive, but we have to understand that Hayat Tahrir al-Sham and Ahmad al-Shara will not win the war against Syria, the Syrian army, or the government, Bashar al-Assad, or against Iran and against Russia, without the backing of major countries such as Turkey. So Turkey is a main player, and Turkey have great interest in Syria because they have their problem with the Kurds.
Mm.
But also from the other side, you have Saudi Arabia, Qatar, which is really give a lot of weapons in order to end the Iranian influence in the region. And you can see little by little Hezbollah, for example, or in Syria, or Iran herself. And after that, you can see, of course, the Houthis in Yemen. So the Arab countries will use the Sunni extremist group in order to fight the Shia groups. Now, the interesting part here is they are all against Israel, but Israel making them a favor. You know, like when we're talking about Hamas, for example, in Gaza, do you know how many times Hamas attacked the Egyptians? Do you know during Mohammed Morsi, the Egyptian president of Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas used to cross the border, use the same tunnels, by the way, and killed hundreds of an Egyptian soldiers. You know,
Wow.
the Egyptian government doesn't like Hamas. And that's why they're not allowing any of them to come to their home. They can tell you, no, we are against that they leave, they get where they have to stay. They have to stay there because they don't want them in their countries.
Yeah.
Wherever Palestinians went, and I'm not saying all of them, of course, there is some of them good people, some of them bad people, like any group of nationality. Remember, there's many of them as well, not many, but there's a small group of them Christians. They are under pressure from both Hamas and from the international community because they are mixed, like in the middle. But wherever Palestinians will go, there will be a problem in the country they're in. You remember, Jordan, for example, and they almost overthrown the king of Jordan there,
Right.
without Israel, and Israel did defend and held Jordan. So in Egypt, in Lebanon, wherever they went, in Syria, wherever they went, they created issues and trouble to these countries. So no country won them. But that's because they always have these hidden agendas.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know why the world, and back again to the rising of the anti-Semitism, especially after October 7, we have to understand when the massacre happened in Suwaida in Syria, there was no one outside in the street demonstrating. No one. So when Iran killed their own people because the woman showed a little bit hair in her hijab, nobody was in the street demonstrating. When Bashar al-Assad was killing his own people, nobody was demonstrating. When Ahmad al-Shara was killing minorities, nobody demonstrating. When China took the Muslim Uyghurs, put them in a concentration camp, nobody was demonstrating. So don't tell me the demonstrations that we see today about Israel or against Israel is a moral demonstration. No, it's not. I'm sorry. This is rising of the anti-Semitism that we see. Is an absolutely, and I'm not saying that Israel is perfect. It would be very naive of us to think that Israel not making mistakes in this war. War is a war. Mistakes will happen. And Israel will admit these mistakes. But Israel will never be perfect. The reality that there is the old anti-Semitism and the new anti-Semitism. The old anti-Semitism was Hitler's speeches, kill the Jews, hate the Jews. But the new anti-Semitism is take out the word Jews and put Israel instead of it, but it's the same concept.
Yeah.
You can criticize Israel as much as you wish, but you cannot critique from Israel two things, or it will be the new anti-Semitism that I'm talking about. Israel right to exist and Israel right to defend itself. And if the danger coming from Syria or Lebanon or Iran or Yemen, Israel do have the right to defend itself under any circumstances. Some people will say in the media, they have a hidden agenda in Syria. Let them, so what?
Right.
You go sit down in a country that you know that you're surrounded by your own enemy that want to kill every and each one of your children, and tell me if you would not have a hidden agenda or not.
Yes.
And I'm done. Go ahead, dear. Ask me. Go ahead. Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm also thinking, I hear my son playing basketball in the other room, and I'm thinking, if I message somebody to tell him to stop? But anyway, never mind.
But I
Um,
cannot hear it though. I don't think anybody hears it. So don't
that's
worry.
hilarious. Okay. All right. I hear it. Anyway, but that also interesting because we're talking about right now, the Lebanese government has voted to disarm all groups that are not the military, including Hezbollah. So what about that? Because that's happening right now on the border with Syria, and I think one of the reasons that Hezbollah will want to refuse to disarm is not just because of Israel, uh, who they're always at war with, but also because of the new Syrian government and the rebels, because they are against Hezbollah, and Hezbollah was against them during the civil war.
Hezbollah will not be disarmed, not because Syria, not because Israel, is because they are keeping the Lebanese people in Lebanon as a hostage.
Hmm.
Full stop. Listen, the biggest, when people comes to me and say, let's free Gaza, I tell them, let's do it. I like the idea. Let's free Gaza, but let's free Gaza first from Hamas. Let's free Lebanon from Hezbollah.
Hmm.
Let's free Syria from Ahmad al-Shar, هاي التحرير الشام.
Hmm.
Let's free Yemen from the Houthis. Let's free the Middle Eastern world from Al Qaeda and Boko Haram in Nigeria and Abu Sayyaf group in Philippines. Let's free them. Let's free them. Let's free all of this. Al
Hmm.
Shabab in Ethiopia. Let's free all of these groups that you keep talking about. So, in reality, Hezbollah will never be disarmed unless it came under blood. There will be a blood to pay in order to disarm them. But they will not. Not out of fear from Syria, not out of fear from Israel, not out of protection, not out of the security that they are the protector of Lebanon. None of this. They
Hmm.
are keeping the Lebanese people and Lebanon as a country as a hostage. And whoever the first victim of Hezbollah is Lebanon, is not Israel, is Lebanon.
Hmm.
And that's why Hezbollah will never agree on disarming unless there is a collection effort within the Lebanese society to basically, wage a civil war against them. But Lebanon is very weak and very economically and militarily. So I don't think that they will be able. Hezbollah is much, the militants of Hezbollah, this terrorist group, is much stronger than the Lebanese army itself. And that's the truth.
Hmm. Oh wow! So it's going to be interesting in Lebanon in the next couple of weeks to see what happens. Okay.
Unless the United States help the Lebanese government and the Israelis help the Lebanese government, I
Hmm.
don't think that the Lebanon itself or the Lebanese army itself will be able to destroy Hezbollah on their own.
Okay. All right. Well, I want you to also tell us about the work of One Free World International, what it is that you do, and I mean, tell us a little about your organization and even why you formed it.
I formed it because I used to be one of them. I formed it because I used to be Presque Christian back home in Egypt and I was tortured very severely for my Christian belief. I converted from Islam to Christianity at the age of 18 and I was arrested when I was 20. And I was tortured very badly from hanging me upside down to taking my nails out of my feet to slashing my back and put salt and lemon in the open wound. And there is many more, I don't want to go through the whole testimony. And after that, I escaped the death penalty in Egypt on a stolen jet ski crossing the border to Israel. And I think, Nicole, that's how I met you in Israel through the International Christian Embassy in Jerusalem.
Yeah, and that was after 2 years in detention, right?
That's correct, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, Canada took me as a landed political refugee,
Mm-hmm.
and my life started, and that's why I started One Free World International.
Mm-hmm.
to fight for people they used to be the same place like myself.
Mm-hmm.
I will never leave the Christians behind, especially the persecuted Christians and any other minorities, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
because the love of Christ and the grace of Christ will ignite us, will encourage all of us to fight for the weak and the needy. It doesn't matter what's their religion or their background. We stand against anti-Semitism, we stand against persecution of any minorities, against human trafficking, against any violation of women's rights, even animal rights. You know, we will always fight and we will always be voice for the voiceless. I can assure you that. That's why I created One Free World International. And today, One Free World International in 28 different countries, we are operating in every war zone. So Ukraine, Armenia, and Azerbaijan at some point, Karabakh, they just signed peace agreement 2 days ago.
Remember when you were in at Artsakh?
Yeah,
It was when, right? Yeah, I remember that you were there for that, and
yeah,
the Christians that were
yeah.
getting driven from their land. Yep.
The Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, Syria,
Mm-hmm.
wherever there is a war zone, Sudan, wherever there is a war zone, we will always be there to fight for the persecuted Christians
Mm-hmm.
and help rescuing them and get them out of a war zone.
So, what are some of the conflict zones you're looking at right now that you feel are especially about to boil over?
I would say Syria. Syria is a very is a volcano of terrorism that about to erupt.
Okay.
Like I even think that Syria at some point will become more dangerous than Iran.
More dangerous than Iran or Iraq?
Way more dangerous than Iran.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Remember as well that the war between Israel and Iran was only air.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Right.
an air war.
Right.
Rockets here, aeroplanes there, fighter
Mm.
jets there. There is a land border between Israel and Syria.
Yes.
That's that's disaster.
Yes.
Um, I believe that the main concern that we have is Afghanistan as well.
Okay.
Afghanistan is one of the countries that we see women rights is disappearing more and more. It's like it just is become disgusting. Afghanistan become disgusting,
Mm-hmm.
and the world is not even talking about it anymore. It's like they are leaving these poor people just fighting for themselves.
Yep. Again,
Uh,
that
you,
out of the news cycle right away. As you know, America pulled out. It was a big disaster. A couple weeks later, that was it with Afghanistan. Mm-hmm.
yes, Ukraine, of course, is something that we're looking for.
Okay.
And even though there is a peace agreement signed between Azerbaijan and Armenia,
Mm-hmm.
I still believe that Karabakh is there is a lot of war crimes took place there in
Yeah.
the hands of the Azerbaijanis with guard rape and killing. So this is something that need to be investigated
Mm-hmm.
for both sides. And the Armenian sides, if the Armenian did anything wrong or the Azerbaijanis did anything wrong,
Mm-hmm.
I think both sides have to be investigated.
Mm-hmm.
So in general term, I would say the priority would be Ukraine and Syria, but deep down, of course, Afghanistan, Iraq, some region in Africa, especially Sudan,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something that we should be very concerned about.
Okay, and tell me, people who are listening today, and I have to say, like, the way you also made the you distinguish between human trafficking and sex slavery, I think is appalling. To actually think about that. And what can people do about this? I mean, how can somebody who's listening to this interview and who is moved and wants to help? What is it that what can we do to stop this?
You will be surprised that it only will take a very simple action. Number one, prayers. Number one, prayers. Like, let me say it one more time. Number one, prayers. And prayers will take from you just a minute, 2 minutes a day. But you have to be constant with regard to your action, your prayer. Not just you see the interview. The majority of the people listen, because the truth here is our world divided to two zones: a conflict zone and a comfort zone.
Mm.
So the more that you are in the conflict zone, you are very close to God because you are under fire.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
when you are in a comfort zone, like America, Canada, Europe, you will see an interview, you will be touched for a day, 2 week, and after that you forget, and you care more now about your credit card and your bank and what's happened to the car and what's happened to the kids in the university, and you're gone. You're simply gone. But I tell the people in the West something very important. Never ever think that persecution is far away from you. The Bible was very clear that if you will follow me, you will carry a cross on your shoulder. And I'm telling you now, and I'm talking to all Americans, all Canadians, all Europeans, Australians, whoever we call them, the free world. Persecution will come. And Christians like bag of tea. You don't know how strong they are until you throw them in hot water.
Mm.
If you think that we are, as a Christians, oh, they are the poor one, oh, poor them, we are the lions of God. You are the one that right now busy with the most silly stuff. In the West now, there is a debate. What the definition of man and woman? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me that today, do you know how much our enemy looking at us and saying, look at this garbage society? We have a debate about what is the definition of man and woman. Are you, like, seriously? Like, people is dying from hunger, and there is wars, and our rights is being taken away from us under politically correctness everywhere. You know why Donald Trump was voted for the second time with a majority? He won the House, he won the Congress, he won the White House, he won the popular vote, because people rights was getting taken away from them. They was losing their identification. They was losing who they are. And once again, you like him or you hate him, but his people chose him for a reason and purpose. And this purpose and this reason, because people wanted the soul of the United States back. I know some of them will say, but he's racist, he's this, he's that. Man, listen to me. Do you think that Obama was better? Do you think that Biden was better? You think these people really served the United States, did not serve their own interests? Come on now. But anyway, the point here is politically correctness is the very cancer in our Western society, and the very cancer in our fabric, the fabric of the Western society. So, in reality, persecution will come, and we need your voice. What you can do is pray. What you can do is reach out to your newspaper, to your media, post on your Facebook or whatever. Contact your MPs or your member of the Congress or your member of Parliament. Tell them, listen, I'm an American voter, I'm a Canadian voter. This issue matters to me, because the more media talk about it, the more that you talk about it with your MP, the more that the government will care more and will try to help these people and find resolution. You tell me, oh, but I'm just one guy, I'm just one lady. Martin Luther King was just one guy.
Mm-hmm.
Gandhi was just one guy. All the people that made name, Abraham Lincoln was one guy. George Washington was one guy. So don't tell me I'm just one guy or one lady or no. You can make a voice. And if you don't speak, you lost your right to complain. If you don't act, once you know the truth, you have two options. You become part of the problem or the heart of the solution. There is no third option. None. Like, if you didn't know this, it's something different. You can go to our website, onefreeworldinternational.com. If you sign, we can send you an action alert where you can keep you informed, tell you what's happening, and how to take an action, how to reach out to your member of parliament or something. We can help you to keep you informed in order to take an action. And that's very easy. That's it.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. People, like everybody listening, needs to sign up. Go to One Free World International, and go to the website. Sign up for the newsletter because I get news from your emails more than I get in the media. From all over the world, like just to learn what's happening to persecuted minority groups around the world. And I mean, I've seen you on the ground in Armenia, in Israel, even, and you've got a team in Syria and you're all over. And I mean, that's amazing. That's where we can get accurate reports about what's going on and do our part to make a difference. Because this is, I love how also you became a Christian, and now as you fight for the rights of persecuted groups, it's not just Christians. It's also Alawites and also Druze and also Jews, and I think that's really amazing.
But that's the Christian heart. That's exactly the
True.
Christian heart.
That is true.
Um, that's the teaching of Christ. Christ did not heal people, and after that, Christ did not ask people to believe in Him, and after that, He healed them. In a
Right.
matter of fact, He did. He just healed them. He just healed. And through His miracles, people start to know who He is, and they start to believe in Him. But Christ never, and I challenge anybody, went to somebody saying, "Believe in me first, and after that, I will heal you. Believe in me first, and after that, I will feed you. Believe in me first, and after that, I will touch you." No, no. He embraced everybody. He said, "I did not come to judge the world. I came to save the world." And that's the heart of Christ.
That's right. That's awesome. Do you also have a documentary that just won some awards, right?
We have many. I have many documentaries. By the way, the words is like, like I try to sell it on eBay. Nobody want to buy it. Anyway, I'm joking. So anyway, no, no, because everybody talking to me, I was like, "Oh, look at this word, and look at this, and look at that," and it's something that you put in your desk and collect the dust, or you can put behind the door so it's hold the door or something.
Oh, that's
The,
hilarious.
listen,
All
I
right,
used to
you
be,
made a documentary, right?
yeah, no, but I used to be in prison. You know what I mean? Like, no,
Yeah.
listen, the real reward, of course, it's in heaven, but the real reward is the people that you see and they come
Yeah.
alongside of you and they help you. Like, the director, Chris Atkins, or the many organizations that came alongside to help to create the movie, Dying to Live, from Bridges for Peace to Blue Flame 47 to International Christian Embassy, and many more that came alongside. And this is my reward. This is my family.
Yeah.
But a small little piece of metal that looked like somebody having a stroke. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so sorry. But
Mabruk anyway.
anyway, so at least it's not the Oscar. Nobody was slapping anybody. The movie itself, is basically about the massacre of October 7th. And I want to tell the people it's not, doesn't matter where you're standing on the Palestinian Israeli file. Because sometimes when you talk about October 7th, they tell you what's happened after October 7th, what's happened before October 7th. Listen, it's about October 7th. It's about the raw emotion of the victims, of the survivors, the pain that they went through, the hostages, the families, communicating with Muslim leaders, Christian leaders, Jewish leaders. And the fact that it was made by an Egyptian, I think that's what really made a big echo. It was not made by a white guy, it was not made by a Jewish guy or Palestinian Muslim guy. It was made by just an Egyptian Christian, not Muslim, not Jewish, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in general, the movie did a lot of it. And right now we are in the process of not translating, but to make a voiceover in Arabic, Persian, and Urdu.
Oh, wow.
So we have planned to show the movie in the Arabic countries, to show the movie in the Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran. The only thing that's such a thing to do a voiceover and to make an airtime and to find a satellite that will be able to, of course, you cannot air it like in the regular TVs, have to
Right.
be shortwave satellites and so on. It takes a lot of money. So we're trying to do that, but it takes a lot. So we'll wait and see how it goes.
Okay.
And that's where we are. That's where we
Okay.
are. Mm.
No, that's a great observation because what one person's pain is just as valid as the other person's pain, and I think what happened on October 7th is just as valid as what's happening to a Palestinian in Gaza right now. I mean, their pain is just it doesn't they don't cancel each other out. And I think we have to empathize with both and find answers, solutions, and healing for both. So, great point. Right.
Listen, there will never be peace between the Palestinians and the Israelis until they both get introduced to the true Prince of Peace, and that's Jesus Christ. Make no mistake. But the truth here is never ever think for a second that we are, as a Christian community, we will ever want to see a child, doesn't matter what his nationality, doesn't matter what his religion, or an innocent person in pain or in hunger or dying, never.
Mhm.
At the same time, we're not naive to see the Hamas propaganda. I will tell you something very interesting. Actually, two things about this matter, about this hunger thing that we see right now.
Uh-huh.
There was one video that I saw it with the IDF, and the video was, how Palestinians was attacking a vehicle of aid and was trying to fight with the Israelis. And the Israelis was like, don't fire, just go back, don't fire. And the more they pushed, the more that the Israelis had to defend themselves. I saw the same video in Al Jazeera, and Al Jazeera edited it. That to show that it was a fault of the Israel. I have both videos. It was very interesting to see how propaganda works, because you always know it's there, but always people will tell you, where is the proof? So this video is actually very. The second thing, you saw the last video that Hamas released about the hostage.
Yeah.
And how the hostages is starving to death.
Yeah.
And they said, Hamas statement was, listen, the hostage will eat what we eat and what the people will eat. We're starving, they're starving. But Hamas, because they're stupid, they forgot that the guy that was handing him the can of food, he have a choppy hand. Not many people saw that.
Yeah, it's going around now. They're circling the hand. Yeah, so that people will pay attention to that. Yeah.
But not only that, we see, I saw after that some videos came from the leaders, leaders and Hamas fighters or terrorists that they are under the tunnel after Netanyahu indicated that he will enter Gaza, will occupy take over all Gaza. And some of them came to warn Israelis and like, we're here, we'll fight. And all of them, like, none of them is like skin and bone.
Yeah.
So if you are not skin and bone, why the hostages skin and bone? Why some of your people is a skin and bone?
Yeah.
Who's stealing all of this food that coming?
Yeah.
Like you want to tell me Jordan and Emirates and Egypt, forget about the border, please. And forget about these corridors, where Israel would give their food up. You want to tell me Egypt and Jordan and Emirates keep dropping aid by plane almost every day, and it's not reaching anybody? None? You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, that just only happened in the last 2 weeks, but
no, but it was happening even before, and there was corridors, and it was and there was many vehicles also was allowed. Once again, I'm not saying Israel is perfect, but also if you know that the food is not reaching and the medication not reaching the people and is ending in Hamas' hand, it's also defeating the purpose.
Right. I mean, Israel, yes, Israel did put a blockade for several weeks, like from March, when they shut down, like when the hostages stopped coming out, Israel also shut down humanitarian aid for a couple weeks. and there were no airdrops. But on the other hand, obviously, like we know Hamas is stealing aid or hoarding aid, but not every Palestinian can get to the sites where there are aid. Like I'm sure that there are still people that are not able to get it. But it's a complicated nightmare over there, I would say, because you've got the new GHF, the Gaza Humanitarian Fund, you've got the UN, they're all at war with each other. You know, Israel's backing this organization, the whole rest of the world is backing that organization. And but there's still people that aren't getting aid. The leaders are fine. You know, they're eating under the tunnels. They've got food, but the hostages don't have food, and some of the people aren't getting food because of
a lot of the people. But
yeah.
here is what Israel need to do though. Israel is starting to lose a lot of friends. Israel start to lose a lot of friends, and Israel have to be smarter than that.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, they have to show higher moral ground. They have the technology, they have ways to try to do this. But also they have to show the world the truth. Like the video that I'm telling you. Why this video did not made it, to the public?
It's interesting.
Well,
yeah, because
and there is more videos.
Israeli
Yeah,
channel.
but there is more videos.
Yeah.
So you have to understand, like Piers Morgan, for example, he was furious defender of Israel. Now he is against Israel, and there is many more like him.
Yeah.
Israel started to lose friends, not only in the government level. Forget about the government level, but I'm talking about the people like friends in the media, people that
Mm-hmm.
So Israel have to be also smarter in how they are showing the truth. Show us the video, allow the Western media to some degree. I understand that you don't want to put them in the front line, but in the same time also allow the foreign media to enter, to see the truth, to speak with the people.
That's true.
There must be a way that the Israelis have to understand that the world is turning against them. And you will not be able to count only on the Americans or Donald Trump, because you don't know who will be the next president.
Right.
You simply will not know. So you will not have Donald Trump forever. So you have to make friends. You have to show the world the reality. Show the difference. Show what's your information. If there is Hamas, people came and attacked, show the video, because I know that they have it. They record everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And when there is a mistake, say, hey, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. We're trying to deal with it. That will not happen again. We're learning is a war. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
But Israel have to understand that they start to lose friends. And we have to work with the Israelis to tell them, hey, listen, we love you, but you have to be more active in the media. You have to show the world more the truth. You have to show your videos. You have to show your evidence. Don't just speak about it, show it. Because the other side have a lot of resources, have a lot of propaganda, have a lot of stories, and with the Qatar's monies and the Saudis' monies, with all the respect, they have way resources than all of us. So help us. As your friend, help us to help you.
I don't know. I see it a little bit differently, because I see right now, because I was sitting in Israel most of the time, I see either the pro-Israel or the anti-Israel media, and not just media, but influencers. And the pro-Israel ones, they've got the videos and they're showing them, and the anti-Israel ones aren't showing them, and it's traditional media is like the lines are blurred. There isn't traditional media anymore. So I just see, like, I do see the one side, and then I see the other side, and they will never meet. Like, they're just on two parallel tracks. And so I know what you're saying, and I think that there are the people doing that, but they're like now the ones that, like, not Piers Morgan, the alternate Piers Morgan, and they never get together. Piers Morgan will never then show what this person showed. So
I'm sorry, but in the time of the internet and open, yes, you can show it and people will see it from both sides. Now, if they want to admit it or not, if they want to believe or not, that's a different story. My point here is not to change the people's mind. I cannot change somebody's mind if you made your mind. But the point that they have to see the truth, the world have to see the truth, and then we will gain some friends.
Yeah.
Not all our enemy will turn to friends, but even if we gain one friend, new friend, is a bonus. But there is more evidence. The videos that you are seeing that the pro-Israel show it. First of all, I don't like pro-Israel and anti-Israel. I don't like this. I think like when people ask me, "Are you pro-Israel?" I tell them I'm pro the truth and I'm anti-lies.
Yeah.
That's what I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the reality here is there is way more evidence there, way more evidence, way more videos. For example, October 7 itself. You know that the Israelis have 45 the video that the massacre in
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and out of respect to the families and out of respect, you know that not everybody was able to see it.
Right. Right.
And it was always selected. I understand. When I sat down with the spokesman of the IDF, I said, please, I know that you cannot release all 45 minutes. I get you. And there is more, by the way. Some of it because there is intelligent information, some of it because the families. I understand. I told him, but you can release 10 minutes. I am sure you can go to the families, and some of them will give you a permission. If they know that this will help their countries and their community and will make everybody see the truth, it will help you. You cannot release the 45-minute, release 15, release 20, but
What did
let the
he
world
say?
see. Let the world see.
What did
If
he
you
say?
and they said, yeah, we understand, but you know, okay, okay. Well, Al Jazeera is keep building, you know, more and more. So let me tell you about something about our award that you are talking about, Dying to Live the movie. We got the silver one. The one that got the gold one was a movie was made by Al Jazeera.
Oh.
Why? Because we have no resources the same like Al Jazeera. You understand what I mean? We don't have the same equipment. We don't have the same. God bless the director from One Media, Chris Atkins. He did his best. But the reality here is, with a very small, you know, budget. But the reality here is, this is exactly a perfect example. Our movie Dying to Live was showing the truth of what's happened in October 7, said by the Palestinians, said by Muslim leaders, but by Jewish leaders, by the victims, by the survivors, by hostages. And yet we got number 2 position. And Gaza, sorry, the Al Jazeera won the first one. Now, I don't believe in the second place and the third place, just FYI. That people tell you, well, when you get the look at you, you got the silver. You know who's the second place is the first loser. The people that get second place is the first losers. It's true. It's true. That's why when people give me the reward, I say, great, thank you, great. But what are you like? You know, let's be real here. Let's be real.
That's
So
so funny.
anyway, it's true. It's true. Let's just be realistic. So I think the Israelis can help us a lot and help themselves a lot by releasing more information, by releasing more facts, by releasing, and I can assure you that many of the media will report about it once it's been cleared, once it's been clarified.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my
They,
point
they
of
definitely
view.
they definitely take their time as well in getting the information out, and I think that's also been part of the problem. And but anyway, people should follow you to get your news, because your news is from on the ground in a lot of conflict zones, and and that's why I reached out to you when I saw your report on Syria. I said, okay, you know what you're talking about, you know the situation, so that's why I wanted to talk to you about it. But I will definitely include a link to your website at the bottom of this video, and people can go there and get information and sign up for the newsletter and learn more about your work. And one day, I know we really glossed over your testimony, but one day we need a 2-hour show, or you do your documentary or your memoir on your testimony, because when you told me that back, I think it was 20 something years ago, I'm telling you, I still have the details like etched in my memory, because it's like an action movie, testimony and a series of miracles. So one day I want to honor that and give that time, but you glossed over it today. Maybe people should go read more about you as well, because God really did a lot through your life.
Amen. All glory goes to Him. Before I let you go, here is my final statement to everybody listening to us. The persecuted Christian is dying, but they're still smiling. We're in very deep dark night, but we still have the candle of the living God. One thing all of you have to remember after all what you heard, our world is not a dark place. It's actually a beautiful place. There is darkness, but with a small little candle, you can always exchange all of this big, thick darkness with a light. Small little candle like this big. Doesn't matter how big is the room, the small candle will win. I know what you're thinking. Our enemy have a very strong army, a very strong weapon. And it's true. What you're thinking is right. But I tell you, we have the Lord. I tell you, we will prevail in Jesus' name. I tell you that they can kill the believers, but they cannot kill the belief of our hearts. Listen to me carefully from a man that was in prison, from a man that was tortured, from a man that they tried to kill him 15 times in the last 5 years. I tell you one thing, they can kill the dreamers, but no one can kill the dream. Freedom is a bulletproof, and our faith nobody can defeat. In Jesus' name, we thank you for watching us. Thank you, Nicole. God bless.
Thank you so much. That was powerful. Thank you.